Hello, welcome to the London Stock Exchange studios. Joining me today is Nigel Green, founder and chief executive of deVere, one of the world's largest independent financial advisory organisations. Nigel, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, like most other financial advisory organisations, you've come under some criticism over charging structures. Are you aware of this, and what would you respond to that?
I think all financial companies have a situation whereby they're scrutinised, and so they should be, whether it's a bank or whether it's an insurance company or fund manager or indeed like us, investment brokers. And yes, people want to discuss it, particularly in today's world, and they want to consider what the charging structures are and obviously look for what they consider to be the best charging structures.
What would be your major causes for concern surrounding charges?
Our clients aren't concerned. They're happy with our service. We know that from the feedback that we get. However, other competitors sometimes will talk about charges and try and imply that there's perhaps a lower than ours, although we're extremely competitive. And at the end of the day, it's about value, and it's about making sure you provide a great service for the public and that your clients fully understand the charges. So you need to disclose them and be transparent with those charges.
So the fundamentals are transparency and full disclosure?
Yes, that's correct. And I think, at the end of the day, nobody expects something for nothing. If you're going to go and see a lawyer, you don't want to be overcharged, that's for sure. And those lawyers, they know how to overcharge. You want to, however, get an efficient service. So you want to know that your lawyer is charging you for a good professional service and going to do a great job for you. Then you don't mind paying the fees. And I think it's the same with financial advisors. You don't mind paying fees as long as they do a great job and you feel that you're getting value for your money, and they've been clear and transparent with their charges and they've been fully disclosed.
Are you able to explain the difference between fees and commission?
Yes, although different countries use different terminologies just to add to the confusion. In general, a fee is what the client will pay us, and a commission, sometimes called a fee as well, by the way, is paid by the institution to us. So there are certain countries around the world where regulators determine you have to work on fees, and that would normally be the client paying the company a fee. Whereas other countries, then you'd work in an environment whereby the institution that you introduce the business to would pay you a commission, or alternatively sometimes called a fee as well, just to confuse the issue.
And which is more profitable for you as a company, fees or commission?
Well, fees tend to be ongoing, so it might surprise lots of people, but fees in the longer term can be more profitable. And today, lots of our business is coming from areas where we do charge fees. So the UK would be one, USA would be another, and Australia would be another, where they're fee orientated. And a lot of our business is coming from that. We're very successful in a fee environment.
Yeah. Now, I've read that you have a market-leading position. Can you give us a potted history of how and why you founded the firm?
Yeah, of course, yeah. My father was in the industry, so once I'd left college I was looking for a career, and I followed my father's footsteps. Went into work in the UK, and I was quite successful in my own right, and then I became a manager, and from there I had my own IFA in the UK, but just concentrated on UK business. A friend of mine had gone to work abroad, and he persuaded me there was an opportunity in the international market, and perhaps surprisingly, I took some persuasion. And then when I went abroad, I was really shocked that it was a massive opportunity. And of course, I guess I've been lucky. The last 15 years, the world has become more international. And so the company's grown, and we've been able to take advantage of the fact that today people want international advice, and people are prepared to move their jobs and look for careers abroad. And that's what we do, advise those expatriates on how best to invest their money.
And where would you see deVere heading over the next 5 years?
World domination. We would want to continue to grow. So we're in 71 different places at the moment. So we'll expand upon that. And although we're the largest in the market, there's massive potential. You know, everybody wants advice today. People don't trust their governments, don't believe their governments are going to look after them. They realise that they have to look after themselves and they need good financial advice to be able to do so. So our industry is in demand and we're enjoying it. So I guess if you're enjoying it, why not continue to grow and make sure you look after your clients and continue to build a long-term business.
What about the industry? Where do you see that headed in the next 5 years?
Wow, different countries, different situations, but of course more and more regulation. You know, that's just the way of the world today, isn't it? And as our industry grows, then the regulators will want to do more and more things, and you adapt to those regulations and make sure that you stay within the framework of any particular country that we're in.
Yeah. Just going back to charges. We've already discussed how the client is charged.
Sure.
What about how much the client is charged?
Okay, well again, it does depend on different countries. So if you were in the UK, USA or Australia, then again we're back to the fee type structure, and that would cost the client 1% per annum. There may be an initial fee set up, and sometimes there may be no initial fee, but there's normally a 1% per annum charge for servicing the clients and ongoing advice, which is fairly standard in the business. But at the end of the day, we're not trying to undercut anybody. We're trying to provide a good value service for our clients.
So across the board, it's 1% per annum. And you mentioned that sometimes there's an initial charge. What decides if you're going to be charged the initial?
Depends on the complexity of the service that you offer, and sometimes if something's quite sophisticated, then the client is charged for that, and they'll know up front and they'll know exactly what that charge is going to be.
Are there any other jurisdictions we haven't covered?
Yes, lots of countries around the world. It could be a combination of being charged ongoing, or it could be that we don't charge at all, which sounds very strange, doesn't it? But in lots of countries, we will introduce the best product to the client, and then the institution that we introduce the business to will pay us a fee. We make sure that our guys are rewarded, but we don't change the amount that they're rewarded by depending on the institution. So they'll get paid the same, so they can give genuinely good advice, whatever institution we've actually recommended to the client, so the client gets best advice. But the institution will have a fee, if you like, within the product. So a typical insurance product may cost, again, 1.2, 1.25% per annum, of which they will pay us an introductory fee for that business.
Is there any reason why you can't, you mentioned that some clients will not be charged a fee. Are there any instances where that could happen in countries where you do charge?
Well, we're going to charge an ongoing fee, so I guess the answer is no. There's no free lunch, right? So at the end of the day, and I think the client would be shocked if we did it for free, wouldn't they? They'd wonder why on earth we were doing it, and I think they'd be suspicious. So no, we're always going to, in countries where we have to go fee, charge 1% per annum.
Okay. Looking into the future, 2016, what are your forecasts, and what should investors be looking for, concerned about?
Well, the world's changing, isn't it? I think we've got oil prices low to stay. So some people think that the oil price is going to suddenly shoot back up again. Okay, personally, and you know, no one's got a crystal ball. Personally, I don't see that, and I actually think that new industries and current industries that gain because of a low oil price will actually gain more and more traction. I think we're going to go through a period where there will be low oil prices, low commodity prices, and there will be companies that take advantage of that. So I would certainly say to clients at the moment, always diversify, but look out for opportunities where there are lower cost of fuel, because they're the areas that fund managers will be able to pick companies where they can actually get better returns in this environment.
Nigel Green, founder and CEO of deVere, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.